For the record, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, you ain't trying to grow, then it's done for you. For the record, lab on me going all the way. For the record, ain't trying to link, no time to waste. For the record.
So welcome back to my channel, guys. My name's Jason Morris. If you are new to my channel, I do tips, tricks, tutorials on filmmaking and photography, and obviously all the camera gear and tech. Absolutely love that stuff. But anyway, if you aren't new to my channel, welcome back. Yes, I did say that the last video was going to be the last video of 2019. But this will be the last video of 2019, so I hope you had a really great Christmas, and then at the time of this release, it'll be near New Year's Eve, so I hope you have a very safe New Year's Eve. But anyway, all of that aside, the point of this video is that I wanted to mention these 4 pieces of equipment that didn't quite make it into their own video, but still definitely deserves a mention. Now, they are used for photography or filmmaking, so there are a whole bunch of creative purposes why you would actually need this piece of equipment. But I'll dive into that right now. So anyway, let's dive straight into it. Firstly, I want to talk about the FeelWorld 7-inch monitor. So it's the FW279S. Now this is a great 7-inch monitor for any kind of camera that you have. So most monitors these days are really, really good quality. You have really bright screens, you have great color accuracy, the price is obviously really good. And this is one of those ones. The main thing that I didn't really think it deserved its own video is that it wasn't any different to any other monitor. Now, I'd still like to mention that FeelWorld actually created a nice monitor, but there's a whole bunch of pros and cons to this monitor, and that is probably the reason why it didn't deserve its own video. So some of the pros is obviously the 7-inch screen. It is a really, really bright screen, so if you do shoot in a lot of high key situations like outdoors, this screen is actually really good, especially because of the size and the super bright screen on it. The good thing about the screen as well is that you can actually view it from 160 degrees. So if you tilt the screen, you can still see it pretty much side on. That is a really good thing, especially if you are a part of the camera crew. So if you are a focus puller or a director and you're looking at that field monitor, that is great because you don't have to look directly over their shoulder, you can look to the side. But if you are a content creator like us, it is still really good because if you do want to get that camera in some really strange and awkward positions, you don't have to tilt the screen, which is really great because you'll still be able to see it. Now, one of the cons to this thing, the one thing I don't like is not having a touchscreen. It is so easy these days with a whole bunch of monitors with touchscreens in terms of navigating. With the buttons at the top, I just feel it just wastes a lot of time. You do actually have to get used to that monitor. With touchscreens, you don't have to get used to the monitor. You can just touch through the menus and away you go. Whereas when it's at the top, you've got your left and right and you're up and down next to each other, and it's just really awkward. You'd have to get used to it, and I just personally can't get used to it. I've got other monitors that I use anyway that are smaller. I prefer the 5.5-inch monitors, especially for my on-the-go rigs. Now, this isn't a biggie, but it doesn't have a LUT input. So there's no SD card slot where you can actually chuck in some presets and see what the log footage actually looks like in post or after the LUT. Now, I generally don't use that option anyway, because I don't just throw a LUT on my footage and away you go. I color correct first, make sure all the highlights and shadows are in the correct position, and then I actually start color grading second. So throwing a LUT on the footage doesn't actually mean much to me. But one of the features that I find that I don't really like is that there is only one mounting point. So you can only mount it at the bottom. That hasn't got any side or top mounts. But you actually have to buy a specific mount if you do want to do a side mount monitor. Otherwise, you've just got the option to mount it at the bottom. It is very low latency, which is great for us content creators. We can't obviously have that lag in the screen. That's not professional, and that allows us to do some focus pulling and stuff as well with it, which is great. But the link is in the description below if you do want to check this out. So the next one I've actually had in my videos many times before. I've just never actually shown anyone what this thing is about. So this is a Camvate rig. So this is by Camvate. I know there's so many companies out of China that create these. They're just really handy to have, especially if you don't want to throw it on a personalized rig, like the rig that I'm actually going to be talking about next for my A6400. But this thing, you can chuck any camera on it. It's completely adjustable in terms of the height and the width and where you can mount it. It's endless. It's absolutely fantastic. And the great thing about it is you can actually have a focus puller on the side as well. You can throw some handles on there. You can throw a top rig on it. Your monitor, your audio, whatever, it's completely adjustable. That is the great thing about having these rigs. So the next rig I wanted to talk about is the Nicey rig. So there's a whole bunch of brands, once again, out of China and other countries that produce these type of rigs. This one is one specifically built for the A6400. So it fits directly around it. So as you Sony shooters would know, we have the flip up screen. So you need to relocate that cold shoe mount, and then you're able to put the shotgun mic to the side, and then you have the flip screen perfect view. So this is really handy, especially on the sides and the top. You've got a whole bunch of screw mounts as well. So you're able to attach anything else to this. If you want to have a handle on it, you can attach a handle to on it. There's so many different options you can utilize with these type of rigs. And I do actually recommend it for filmmakers and photographers because you can really upgrade your camera with a whole bunch of accessories and just make it a complete beast. Now the last one, I was tossing up whether to do a single video by itself. I still might, because I've done videos about these things before. As you guys would have seen, this is the iWater Genius light. These are my favorite lights to date, until I got the bowling light. Now the bowling light is behind me. That's what, right there. That thing is incredible. It is solidly built. It is a bit thicker, but just the quality of it is absolutely fantastic. The color representation is great, and the range is a lot lower in terms of Kelvin, and obviously a lot higher as well, which is really handy. Just seems to be a lot more accurate. Definitely is a lot brighter, and one of the main things is that you can actually set it to the intensity level 1, whereas this thing you can only go level 5, and it still is kind of bright. Whereas sometimes I just want to tone it down, just get a little bit of a kick light on the edge of a product, like maybe a 2 or a 3 intensity, just to give it that little bit of an edge light. When it's a 5, you kind of have to put this further away. That is a little bit of a con about this, but my new favorite is that bowling light. It is absolutely fantastic. I don't know why I didn't buy it in the first place, but these things still come in handy. I use them pretty much in every video, except for this video. I'll usually have this here and have it as a bit of a kick light on the side here, or a fill light. But not this video. This is the last video of 2019. There's gonna be a whole bunch of different content in 2020, so be sure to stick around. Sony shooters, DJI, filmmakers, photographers, you better stick to my channel. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you already haven't as well. Don't forget to hit that bell notification so you can be notified when my next videos come out. Anyway guys, enough blabbing from me. Enjoy your New Year's. I will see you guys in 2020. It's gonna be a crazy big year. Let's get it.
Truth, it's not going. Oh my god, I gotta make